Yo, what's good? What's good, people? It's your boy Kelvin back at y'all, man. Salute to everybody, man. All right, man. I want to get right to it. I want to talk about Tim Duncan, GOAT power forward. I want to make a part two video, kind of follow up to a live that me, Big Dog Sports, and Kobe Bryant Film Room. We did a live about Tim Duncan a couple nights ago, and I just want to do some clarification on my end as far as the things I was saying about Tim Duncan. Now, I know the title of the video, it was asking the question, has Tim Duncan become overrated? Let me answer that again so people would know where I stand. No, I don't think Tim Duncan is overrated. I think Tim Duncan is properly rated. Most people have him rated in the top 10. Most of the time it's in the back half of the top 10, somewhere between 6 and 10 or whatever. And I think most people have him as the greatest power forward of all time. And I think that is a fair rating that he deserves. Again, everything is opinion based. There's no facts as far as GOAT rankings or whatever, but most people have him in the top 10. And I think that's fair. And I believe I did say that. Now, I think what had happened was Kobe Bryant Film Room and Big Dog, they did a video on one of their channels. And they had some discussions with somebody. And somebody was saying that Tim Duncan was ranked number 2 all time. Or Tim Duncan might be ranked over Magic Johnson. Now, what I said was, if somebody had him ranked number 2 or over Magic Johnson, then yeah, that would be overrated. But just your normal back half of the top 10, which most people have him, and they have him as the greatest power forward, I think that is a fair rating. It's for fair ranking, should I say, not rating, ranking. And that is what I said. Now, also what I did say is, Tim Duncan has some low moments in the playoffs, and for whatever reason, those low moments get just skipped on by. A lot of people do a lot of comparison between Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant because those were the top 2 guys in the 2000 decades. Some people might have Tim Duncan, some people might have Kobe. I'm a Kobe guy. If you like Tim Duncan, whatever, that's your opinion. But Kobe Bryant can seem to get nitpicked about every little bad thing that, every little fault or bad thing that happened in his career. Oh, he played with Shaq, or this and that and all that type of stuff. But Tim Duncan, the low moments and the failures and the flops that he had in his career, no one talks about. All everyone talks about is just the high moments. The 5 championships, a couple MVPs. I think he won 2 or 3 finals MVPs. I'm not sure about that. They just talk about all the good stuff. But I went through his career and I just highlighted some playoff series where he came up short. And these are facts. Now, as far as how much weight you want to hold against them or whatever, that is up to your discretion. But everything that I said was factual based, is a historical fact. These games have already been played, and the things that I spoke about happened, and they need to be spoken about more. If you're gonna nitpick Kobe Bryant, we can nitpick Michael Jordan now. We can nitpick LeBron and Dwayne Wade and whatever else all-time great. Why we can't talk about Tim Duncan? And that's all I was saying. Now, we have Basketball Reference here. This is a historical website for its basketball history. And we're going to go through real quick exactly what I was saying. So there'll be no dispute, no confusion about what I said. And even with the low moments that I spoke about, I still have Tim Duncan ranked in my top 10 all time. And that's what I said. Now, let's go through it real quick. We're on the page right here. We came in the league in 98, Rookie of the Year. 99, we know he won the title. The year 2000, he was injured. He didn't play in the playoffs. I didn't say much about that. The year 2001, I think they won 58 games. Let's look at it. They won 58 games. They had home court advantage. And they got swept by the Lakers. Now, yes, the Lakers, the 2001 team, is considered by most people one of the great teams of all time. That's fine. But it's not like the Spurs was some scrub or whatever. As you can see here, the Spurs were a 1 seed. Now the Lakers were a 2 seed, and that's fine. But they still got swept with home court advantage. That is what I said. As far as how much weight and how you want to hold it against them, whatever, that's your opinion. But look, all these double-digit losses. They lost by 14. They lost by 7. They lost by, I don't know, over 30. And what's that, damn near 30 right there. Those are beat downs. You know what I'm saying? They got swept. That is what I said. That is all I said. Again, yes, it is the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq. That's fine. But they still got their ass swept. Period. And it wasn't like they was some 8 seed or something. That is all I said. Now, 2002, we can go through that real quick. They lost in 5 games. They lost to the Lakers again. I ain't really say a whole lot about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I said was the series was close. The games were close, but the Lakers were, they were favored. I would say they were favored. They were favored because they had home court advantage and stuff like that. And that's that. That's all I said. I ain't really say too much about this year. 03, we know they won a title. Now, 2004. This is where I start really holding it against Tim Duncan. Okay, if you want to skip 2001, that's fine. But Allen Iverson did get 1 game with the Sixers. And you can't tell me Tim Duncan can't get 1 game? But okay, fine. Let's just forget about that. 2004. They played an overrated Lakers team. I'm sorry. It is my opinion that the 2004 Lakers are one of the most overrated teams of all time. When you got a 40-year-old Karl Malone, a 36-year-old Gary Payton. Yes, they still had Kobe and Shaq. Shaq was starting to decline a little bit, but yes, Kobe and Shaq was still there. But, the full team wasn't that great. And like I said, they had home court. And as you can see here, they won the first 2 games at home, 88-78. Second game they won, 95-85. And they commenced to collapse and lose 4 straight. Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, Game 6. We know Game 5 was the infamous Derek Fisher game. I'm sorry, that is a flop. This Lakers team to me was not that great. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I understand what their record was and stuff like that, but if you look at their roster, let me go back. I'm sorry, that Lakers team to me, man, was just not that great of a team. Let's look at it real quick. Okay, Shaq, Kobe, yes, okay. You got an old Karl Malone, an old Gary Payton, Devin George, Derek Fisher, Kareem Rush, and Slava Mamadenko. That is a super team, people? That is a great team? No, that is not. When I say the 2004 Lakers are one of the most overrated teams of all time, this is why I said, look at this roster. You got Brian Cook, an old Rick Fox, Brian Russell, and a rookie Luke Walton. They didn't even play. They bench is so bad. How is this a great super team? It is not. You know what I'm saying? And for the Spurs to go up 2-0 and lose 4 straight, I am sorry. That should be held against Tim Duncan. That is a flop. If Kobe Bryant would have did that, y'all would be talking about it from here to kingdom come. Period. That is a flop. Nobody talks about that. Home court, up 2-0, and you lose 4 straight. Sorry, man. That is a flop. Let's continue. 2005, they won the championship. 2006, I spoke about this series. They lost in 7 at home against the Mavericks. Now, again, I said the Mavericks team was a really good team. I said they were down 3-1 and they came back and forced the game 7. But neither here nor there, as you can see here, Game 7 was at home, and yes, Tim Duncan played great. He had 41 points. They still lost at home a Game 7. That is what I said. If the roles were reversed and Kobe Bryant dropped 40 and they lost a Game 7 at home, y'all know damn well y'all will be hollering and screaming about Kobe choked. You know it. And so all I'm doing is quoting history. This is what happened. They lost a Game 7 on their home court. I said this series was a classic series, which it was. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But neither here nor there, they lost Game 7. They were up late. Ginobili with the dumb foul on Dirk late. Dirk hit the and one. They went to overtime, and they lost at home, Game 7. That is what I said. How much weight you want to hold against Tim Duncan, that is your opinion. But it is a historical fact. Tim Duncan lost at home a Game 7. Period. As we see here, that is a historical basketball NBA fact. That's all I said.
Looking down low with Nowitzki because Dallas was not able to sub.
Ginobili for 3. Yes! San Antonio leads for the first time tonight. For his native Argentina, 21 points for Ginobili, 19 in the second half. Nowitzki goes right at Bowen. And the foul! So Nowitzki to the line. Down to 3. Ginobili squeezes through. Duncan on the follow. The shot blocked. And we go to overtime.
The manner in which they won this game after giving up that huge lead. Spurs end up taking a 3-point lead late. Looks like they're going to close out the series. Dallas battles back in validation from Dirk Nowitzki.
Let's continue. 2007, they won the title. 2008, I spoke about this series here. They won 56 games. They played the Lakers in Game 1 and Game 5. They had big leads and they blew it. And they lost in 5. I said that. In Game 1, they were up by 20 in the third quarter. In the middle of the third quarter, they blew a 20-point lead. As you can see here, they lost. In Game 5, I said they were up by 20. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. They were up by 17 instead of 20. That's just 3 points off. They were up by 17 in Game 5. And as you can see here, they lost. So 2 games, 1 and Game 5, with big leads, they blew it and they lost. That is what I said. That is a historical fact. I will let you guys see the video right now.
That have combined to win 7 of the last 9 NBA championships. The Spurs winning 4, the Lakers 3. 18 points, San Antonio leads.
No double teams are going to go right through to Duncan. He's going to read the defense, either get a little jump hook here in the lane, which he gets. They cannot handle him one-on-one, so Phil Jack gets the ball up.
Bryant freeing himself up. The Lakers take a 2-point lead. Finley shoots for 3, and that will do it. As Odom fires it down court, the Los Angeles Lakers have come back from a 20-point deficit, led by Kobe Bryant. For the Spurs, this, in effect, the first of what will be 3 elimination games. The Lakers, 1 win from the NBA Finals. Oh, Bowie just trying to draw the foul. Here's Barry for 3. Brent Barry, who had the sensation. Back in, departed after picking up a second foul. Thomas is open. Kurt Thomas knocks it down.
That's the man of the hour.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you just seen from the footage from 2008, Game 1, the Spurs had a 20-point lead and they blew it. Game 5, they had a 17-point lead, and then late in the second quarter, they still had a 15-point lead and they blew Game 5. Now, does that seem like a team who can't compete with the Lakers? Y'all love to holler, oh, they were playing the Lakers. This wasn't some all-time great Lakers team. When you have leads like that big, that means that your team can play with them and they can compete. And what happened was the Spurs blew 2 big leads in Game 1 and Game 5, as I said on the live. And all the Spurs had to do was continue to execute, and they could have pulled out those 2 games. In 2008, this ain't the happy 3-point shooting era that we're in today. You know, the scoring wasn't as high as it is, and you should be able to hold a 20-point lead in the third quarter and a 17-point lead and a 15-point lead late in the first half. And so that is all I'm saying. No one talks about this. I'm not taking away from Tim Duncan's greatness, but you've seen the footage. Nobody talks about it. But that is all. Okay, and as you've seen on the video, what I stated, 20-point lead, 17-point lead, and they blew it. That is a historical fact. They lost. And you know, y'all love to scream about, oh man, Pau Gasol, man, you know, the Lakers, man, they shifted the Memphis Grizzlies, man. They just traded Kwame Brown and got Pau Gasol. You know, y'all love to act like Pau Gasol was prime Wilt Chamberlain or prime Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. As you can see right here, Pau Gasol did not play well this year. He averaged 13 points, 9 rebounds. He shot 44% as a big man. That is bad. So he had a bad series, and you still lost with 2 games with big leads in Game 1 and Game 5. I'm sorry, that is a flop. That should be held against Tim Duncan. I'm sorry. This 2008 Lakers team was a good team after the trade, but it's not some juggernaut team. When you got a lead that big in 2 games, that means that you're on level playing field and you should win them games. And Tim Duncan was on the court and he blew it. Ginobili was there, Parker was there. They blew 2 big leads in 2 games. I'm sorry, that should be held against Tim Duncan. All I did was quoted the facts. Let's go to the next year. 2009, 54 wins. I said in the first round, they lost to the Mavericks. They were a 3 seed. The Mavericks were a 6 seed. That is what I said. That is what happened. Now, let me put some proper context, because I did not say that in that video. And let me be fair to Tim Duncan. This series, Manu Ginobili did not play. He got injured in the middle of the season. He missed like 30-some games or whatever, and he didn't play this playoff series. But neither here nor there. They played all those games without Manu Ginobili, and they still managed to get the 3 seed. And as you can see here, they lost to a 6 seed in 5 games. That is what I said. How much weight you want to hold against Tim Duncan with Manu Ginobili not being there, that is up to your discretion. But this is what happened. As you can see here, these are historical facts. That is what I said. I think it should be counted against them a little bit because they did play long stretch of games without Manu Ginobili, and they still managed to get a 3 seed. But neither here nor there. If you want to give them a pass, that's fine. 2010, they lost to the Phoenix Suns. They were a 7 seed. I said that they got swept. I ain't gonna make no big deal about that. They were a 7 seed. They won 50 games, but it was still kind of a down year for them. So let's skip to the next year. 2011, the San Antonio Spurs, 61 wins. The number 1 team in the West. And they lose in the first round to the Memphis Grizzlies. Did I not say that? Nobody wants to talk about that. Okay. Now, in this series, Tim Duncan was dealing with a knee his knee he had a little bumpy knee or whatever that was bothering him a little bit, but he still played. And Manu Ginobili was dealing with something with his arm, but Manu Ginobili still played 5 games out of the 6, and he averaged over 20 points a game. So there is no excuse for you losing to an 8 seed or 46 win Memphis Grizzlies team in 6 games. I am sorry. I'm sorry. Let's look at the numbers real quick. Manu Ginobili still gave you almost 21 points a game. Tony Parker gave you almost 20. Tim Duncan only gave you 13 and 10. Now, again, he was dealing with something with his knee or whatever, but I'm sorry, you're a 1 seed. You got to figure out how to win over an 8 seed. Everybody else can get blamed for being a 1 seed. Dirk in 2007 was a 1 seed. They won 67 games, and they flopped against the Golden State Warriors. And everybody criticized him, and rightfully so. I'm sorry, Tim Duncan as a 1 seed, they got to figure it out. They got to win against the 8 seed. Now, if they lose in another round, get some tougher teams, and they're dealing with some injuries, maybe we can talk about that. But as an 8 seed, a 46 win Memphis team, I'm sorry, you got to win that series, bro. You got to figure it out. But as I said, no one wants to talk about this series. Tim Duncan, for whatever reason, gets a pass. And all I was doing was quoting historical facts. As you see right there, they lost in the first round as a number 1 seed. Next, 2012, they won 50 games. Now, this was a lockout season. They were tied for the best record in the NBA. And once again, Tim Duncan has a 2-0 lead in the playoffs. Yes, the Oklahoma City Thunder were a good team, but so what? Everybody else lose the good teams, and they get slammed for losing. They had home court advantage. They won game 1, game 2, and they commenced to flop 3, 4, 5, 6. Series over. That is twice in his career where he had a 2-0 lead and he loses 4 straight. I don't care about the Thunder being a 2 seed or whatever. Everybody else gets criticism, but Tim Duncan, for whatever reason, gets to slide and skate on by. And all I was pointing out was historical fact. They up 2-0, 4 straight losses. As you can look right here, you can go to Basketball Reference yourself and see that. I'm sorry, that is a flop. And that should be held against Tim Duncan. That is twice in his career. 2-0 leads, 2004, 2011, up 2-0 with home court advantage, lose 4 straight. 2011, a 1 seed, lose to an 8 seed, 3 seed, lose to a 6 seed, got swept in 2001, but nobody wants to talk about it. Let's give the choir boy, Tim Duncan, let's give him a pass. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to talk about it. But as you can see, that is a fact. And this was a very young Oklahoma City Thunder team. Yes, they were very good in 2012. But so what? When everybody else loses the good teams, they get criticized and everything else. When the Lakers in 2004, when they lost to Detroit, was Detroit not a good team they lost to in the final? But guess what? Kobe gets criticized for playing like garbage and losing in 5 games. When Kobe got swept in 2011, they lost to the Mavericks. Were the Mavericks not a good team? Do he get a pass? Oh, man, he got swept by a good team, man. Let's give him a pass. No. Y'all say, oh, man, Kobe got swept. In 2005, when Kobe was injured and he missed 20 games and he missed the playoffs, do y'all give Kobe a pass for that? No, y'all quick to say, oh, man, Kobe was in his prime, man. He missed the playoffs, even though he was injured and missed a good chunk of the season. In 2006, when they were heavy underdogs, matter of fact, I got it right here. As you can see right here, the Lakers were a 7 seed and the Suns were a 2 seed. And oh man, Kobe blew a 3-1 lead, but they were heavy underdogs. I believe that this Lakers team won 45 games. Yes, 45 games. Everybody know they were severely undermanned with a bad roster. Smush Parker, Kwame Brown, Chris Mill, Cook and all them guys, man. Young Andrew Bonner, Brian Cook, Devin George, yada, yada, yada. A bunch of nobodies, man. No disrespect to nobody on the team, but they were heavy underdogs to the Phoenix Suns. Do anybody give Kobe Bryant a pass? Y'all quick to say, oh, man, he blew a 3-1 lead. Do. Even though they were heavy, heavy underdogs and they should have been swept. But somehow they was able to sneak out 3 wins, which I still hold it against him. But you want to give Tim Duncan a pass, when he got the best record in the NBA in 2012, win the first 2 games at home with home court advantage and lose 4 straight. Oh, man, he lost to a good Thunder team, man. You can't hold that against him. Oh, man, 2004, he lost to the Lakers. In 2001, when he got swept, he lost to the Lakers. He seemed to get all these passes for these flops. But everyone else can get criticized. That's all I was talking about. But even with that, I still said the man is a top 10 player of all time and the greatest power forward. But he do have some very low moments in the playoffs that more people should talk about. I'm not even going to 2013. We already know what happened in that. That's the Ray Allen. Manu Ginobili missed a free throw. Kawhi Leonard missed a free throw. They didn't get the rebound. Yada, yada, yada. We know what happened 2013. They blew Game 6, and they ended up losing Game 7. They lost to the Miami Heat. 2014, they won the title. 2015, they lost to the Clippers. 2016, I think that was Duncan last year. They lost to OKC, I believe. But everything I quoted and I said was a historical fact. Tim Duncan has some very low moments. I'm sorry. You up 2-0 in the series with home court. You got to figure it out. You got to figure out a way to win that series. And you was up 2-0 twice and flopped and lost 4 straight twice to an overrated Lakers team in 2004 and 2012 to OKC. A 1 seed in 2011. You lose to a 46-win Memphis team. Yeah, your little knee was banged up or whatever. But Ginobili still gave you 20. I know his arm was messed up. He missed 1 game. And in that 1 game, game 1, in the 4th quarter, Tim Duncan scored 0 points. Nobody want to talk about that either. 0. They lost a close game 1. If he would have scored 5 points, they probably would have won. So, that's all I'm saying. Okay? Tim Duncan is still great. He's still a top 10 player. Nobody's trashing the man. I am still a fan of Tim Duncan and what he did. And this great accomplishment should not be ignored. 5 titles, MVPs, finals MVPs, all defensive teams he made, and his great contribution. And he is by far the greatest power forward of all time. I said all of that. But his missteps, his low points, need to be pointed out also. If you're going to nitpick with Kobe and Jordan and everybody else, Jordan really ain't had no low moments like this. When Jordan was losing, he was the underdog. His team wasn't good enough in the 80s. Once his team got good enough and they was on equal playing field or he was the favorite, Jordan always delivered. He ain't flopped when he was the favorite. Tim Duncan did multiple times, as you've seen here, as the favorite with home court. He lost. So all I'm saying is that should be highlighted more. That should be talked about more. That's it. But that is all I want to say. I just want to clarify the things that I was saying as far as Kobe Bryant film room and Big Dog, how they feel about Tim Duncan and where they have him ranked. Y'all can talk with them on their videos. But this is me. I'm Kelvin. This is my thoughts. This is my opinions. And these are the facts about Tim Duncan. I'll catch y'all next time. I'm up out of here, man.